Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from NextGov. Now this was published on February 7th, and it's written by Aaron Boyd, their senior editor. How all-knowing smartphones could become the Pentagon's employees' access cards. And this is like the stupidest idea the federal government could ever think of. Like, considering on the note of security for our national agencies. Seriously, any technology can be thwarted and circumvented. Given enough time, given enough, ingenuity, given enough determination, it can be done. To think that, yeah, we'll let them have their smartphones on them and use that as a way to gain, give them access and such is, how do I put this? Uber retarded levels of stupid. An algorithm will track how employees use their phones, how they walk, and even where they go to constantly verify users' identities or the user's identity. Here's the thing with that. If an algorithm can track an employee on all these things to verify their identity, it's not that hard to have an algorithm track those same exact things in order to mimic them and to, circumvent this type of security. It would actually be very easy because the technology would be there to do it. So if you have a program monitoring all those things, you have another program monitoring all those things. It's not that hard to spoof things when it comes to technology. And you can spoof devices like cell phones. So they could spoof a phone, use the algorithm, and now you could have any Tom, Dick, or friggin' Harry walking into, secure facilities and fool the shit. It wouldn't be that hard. I don't understand how the Department of Defense and other agencies would think this was remotely a good idea. A New York-based company and the Defense Department have created an artificial intelligence algorithm to be embedded in smartphones that knows the device owner so well it can tell its user by the way they walk, type, and even... the way they talk, type, and even walk. Okay, and you can have algorithms on the note of trying to defeat this, monitor those same things, and then spoof it. It's possible. This is not a good idea. Not remotely. TWOSENSE.AI has been working with the department to build a software-as-a-service product to replace the common access card used to verify defense employees' identities when logging into the department's networks, the company said in a release issued Thursday. Now here's the thing. I would much rather have, just on the note of trust, because you can trust it more, the use of these cards over a fucking cell phone. Holy shit. With how a lot of these cell phones are being made in China, don't you think, with the concerns with Huawei and how they could have, back doors built into their equipment, including their personal cell phones, you don't think that could be with the same case with other brands being manufactured in China? You don't think that they could use, if there is, those back doors to gain access, to collect this information, to then use it to circumvent the security? You don't think that some some hacker with ingenuity in an abundance could figure out a way to do it? I mean, hell, I've got some coding experience. I've done it. I'm, no autistic savant by any means when it comes to code. I'm, not an expert. And I could think of ways to circumvent this with software or ways to collect data to do it would be more accurately a depiction of what I'm thinking. I mean, this is funny. Not only that, there's the privacy concerns. Just because you go work for the government doesn't mean that they should be able to put software on your phone and monitor you 24/7, violating your constitutional rights so that they can verify who you are. I mean, to me, that just kind of like reeks of Big Brother. Using constant monitoring of the user's behavior, including how they walk, carry the device, type and navigate on it, and even how they commute to work and spend their free time, and the system will automatically and continuously verify the user's identity, enabling them to seamlessly work on secure networks without having to plug in a card each time. No offense, I would rather want to plug in a card than have this company and the federal government monitoring me every waking and sleeping moment of my life to verify who I am. I mean, how? How the heck is this remotely a good idea? I hope government employees, DOD employees go, wait one fucking minute. I'm not doing this shit. I'll keep my card. Thank you very much. There's not only that, there's concerns because you know that this data is going to be collected and stored somewhere off-site on the note of, say, not in a government facility, not with the same government protections that, classified data would have. And you know that it's going to be rife with people hacking that shit. Because that information, even though it might not divulge a lot, gives you the ability to get the credentials to get very sensitive and classified materials. Oh my God. This is just like a bad idea in any way, shape, or form you look at it. It truly is. As the system tracks these metrics, it continuously updates a trust score based on the level of confidence the algorithm has that the correct person is using the device. A trust score? That's like, basically, it's like a social, wow, they would be able to know. It's like the idea of a social credit score. They would be able to know, as a government employee, every little thing about you. Oh, it's just for verification. How the hell? You go work for the government, okay? When you do that, you do not give up your constitutional rights. Yet, that's what the DOD and this company wants you to do. They want you to give up your right to privacy, your right to not be illegally searched, because this would be a consistent 24/7 search of your life. Just so you don't have to plug a card in to gain access to a network. Oh my God. The score is checked to ensure it meets the desired threshold. Jeremy Corey, chief of the Defense Information Systems Agency Cyber Innovation Division, said at the AFCEA Defense Cyber Operations Symposium in May. This threshold is predetermined by the organization we are piloting our prototype with. This could be configured by the application owner, so as long as it's within the authorizing official's accepted level of risk. So, what happens? So basically, they're monitoring your life to verify who you are. So you have to another thing is you'd have to have a pretty consistent life. You know, work, home, market on a particular day, laundry on a particular day, this on a particular day. And if you start going out of that, your score goes down. So what happens if someone in your family has something happen, ends up in the hospital, and you have to go to the hospital for the next 2 weeks every fucking, day? You just changed your life around, which is now going to affect its view of who you are, and if you are who you say you are, type of thing. What if you go on vacation? That's going to change your score too, because you're not doing your normal thing, because this is literally relying on the fact of how you go in your life and your normal routine. The second your normal routine gets messed up, it screws with the score. This is not a good idea. This really isn't. DISA awarded the $2.4 million contract in October through the Army's Other Transaction Authority, which allows certain agencies to sign contracts for advanced research without abiding by the Federal Acquisition Regulation. Oof. That's $2.4 million they wasted. Both DISA and TWOSENSE.AI believe that continuous authentication is the cornerstone of securing identity, said Dr. David Dowd Gordon, CEO of TWOSENSE.AI. Behavior-based authentication is invisible to the user, therefore it can be used continuously without creating extra work. But it basically uses the idea of a credit score. China uses a social credit score. This is using a similar idea. It's not being called a social credit score, but if your routine changes, they're not judging you on what you're doing, but if your routine changes, you can fuck yourself. You screw yourself with this. This does not make things more secure. Like I said, all you need to do is piggyback another algorithm on the phone that's monitoring the same exact things, and it sends that information out to a third party. Now that third party has all the information they need to spoof who that person is. Jesus Christ. Behavior-based authentication is literally spying on someone 24/7. That's what it is. Let's call it what it is. Last year, Steve Wallace, a technical director at DISA, told NextGov the vendor would deliver some 75 prototypes. Once the testing phases are finished, the technology will be embedded into certain smartphones at the manufacturing level before being acquired by the Defense Department, Wallace said. It's software. You're going to embed it? That makes absolutely no sense. What? They make it sound like they're going to just put it on certain smartphones. They're going to... Anyone with a security clearance with the DoD, watch. It'll end up eventually. They'll have to have it on their phone. Then it'll reach out from the DoD to another agency. And then another. And another. And another. And all it will do is just create an environment of insecurity in our security apparatus in the United States. It really is that simple. Wallace declined last year to name the vendor or smartphones being used. However, the announcement Thursday from TWOSENSE.AI notes the project is working through existing partnerships between DISA, Qualcomm, and Samsung. Well, you better make sure that Samsung isn't using Chinese manufacturers to make the phones. Just a thought. Make sure they're manufactured in Korea or at a special plant in the United States, maybe, if you can get them to do that. The National Institute of Standards and Technology is also working on a similar solution to identity verification for civilian agencies. Oh, God, this is just a bad idea. This is just a really bad idea. I don't want to sound like Rain Man the autistic, but, but I'm about to. Bad idea. Bad idea. Wapner on a 4. Bad idea. Wapner on a 4. I'm a good driver. I'm a good driver. Bad idea. Bad idea. I mean, this is truly a dipshit level of stupid. This is dropped on your head as a baby levels of stupid. This is the growth spot on your head wasn't closed when that happened levels of stupid. All they are doing is just opening the door for massive security breaches. Mark my words on this. If this goes into effect, they actually do use this. At some point, you're going to see what I exactly said. You're going to see someone piggyback the phone with software, use the information that was being collected to create a facsimile of the person somehow, and then use that facsimile to gain access. It'll happen. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.